Hi guys!
Hi!
Welcome to our channel. If you're new here, my name is Eileen.
And I'm Mark.
And in this video, we are talking all about Turkish baths. That is the face. Because just thinking about Turkish baths makes me feel relaxed.
Oh, so
and
relaxed.
It's definitely one of the top things that I would recommend doing in Turkey. Absolutely, as a cultural experience, as a way to spend your time and your money, you really need to see a Turkish bath.
Yep.
We had never been to one before, so we really didn't know what to expect. So in this video, we're going to take you through the entire experience and also give you some tips that hopefully would make your time at the bath go very smoothly and come out feeling wonderful.
Just like this.
Squeaky clean. The bath that we went to is called the Suleymaniye Hammam, and it's very old. It was built between 1550 and 1557, and it's been operating almost continuously for over 450 years as a bath. So that's pretty incredible to be part of that. It was built by Suleiman the Magnificent, and the architect is very well known, and he built more than 400 buildings in his lifetime. And I believe almost 200 of those buildings are still standing, one of which is this bath, which was commissioned by Suleiman the Magnificent. And Istanbul is a huge city of more than 15 million people. There's a lot of traffic and noise and excitement. So when you enter that lobby, it really does hit you that this is a place where you've left all that behind in the street and something very good and relaxing is about to happen.
And it helps that we were there at night, so there was just no one else around.
Yeah, we were the only people there, which made it nice. Actually, that's another thing we should point out, is that traditionally men and women would bathe separately. And one of the reasons we chose to go to this bath is that we wanted to experience it together for the first time, and they allow that at this
We thought
bath.
it would be more fun.
And it was.
It was.
Anyway, so in the lobby they have different couches, seating areas for you to relax. There's
Soft music playing in the background.
rose petals and all sorts of things to kind of calm your senses. And you take your shoes off and put them in a little cubby they provide, and then upstairs are where all of the private lockable cabins are, where you head up to get changed. So you come up these stairs, you have to take your shoes off, and then you're on the upper level. You can look down and see the lobby area, and they have all these places to sit. And if you don't have your own bathing suit, or you don't want to wear your own, for women they give you a bikini top and then these shorts, and these are the kinds of shoes that you wear, and they're a little tricky to walk in. And then these are the towels, so women also get a towel, and this is what they give men to wrap around their waist. And then they have all of these private change rooms that have a key with a lock that you put around your wrist. So you get your own sort of cabin here, and you can leave everything in there while you're in the bath. And it's so pretty. This is a really old one. And I think it's the only one in Istanbul that both men and women can go to, because traditionally they're separate. And then afterwards they have a little area here to dry your hair, or if you just want to kind of relax, there's some seating. And then of course downstairs they have this whole area set up downstairs for you to just relax afterwards. Unfortunately, we were not allowed to film inside the actual bath chambers, so we're going to describe it all so you can picture it. When we entered the bath itself, the first thing that I was immediately struck by was just how hot it was.
Yes.
I mean, obviously you know it's going to be hot, but I don't think I was prepared for how hot and steamy it actually would feel in there. It almost took the wind out of me.
Oh, it definitely took the wind out of me.
Like when it's really cold in Canada, it's sort of the same thing in this bath.
Yeah.
You just feel a little bit winded, so I had to kind of just stop for a second.
Sit down for a second.
No, I couldn't sit down because it was too hot.
Oh yeah, true.
That's the second thing I was gonna say, is that once I had recovered from how hot it was, the next thing I noticed was that every surface is covered in marble. It's absolutely stunning. And there's this huge dome in the middle, and then smaller domes around the outside. And then what's cool about it is that off of that center dome, there are little private bathing areas, and each one of those areas, which is under one of the small domes, has two separate marble beds with marble columns and a wash basin. And one of those, there's a sign where it says that that is where Suleiman the Magnificent liked to take his baths. I guess he used to like to be in the same place every time. And because we were the only ones in the baths, we thought, let's go where Suleiman
We
the
gotta bathe in
Magnificent
that one.
went. So we were going to lie down each on one of these marble beds, but truthfully it was so hot.
Way too
I
hot.
could barely touch the marble. Like even just putting my hand on it
Yeah.
was way too hot. So we did a bit of a tour first.
We were still trying to adjust.
We were trying to adjust, familiarize ourselves, and just really take in the beauty and the history of the atmosphere. But it also was starting to feel really good. So as my body was getting more used to the heat, I started to feel really good.
And I think that's probably the detox process, right?
Yeah, so the idea with the bath is that you sit in this steamy chamber for about 40 minutes. And you can, of course, leave if you need to, but that's how long they give you to, release toxins and sweat it out, as they say, and just try to relax also.
So after a while, we worked up the courage to actually lie down with our bare skin on the marble, which was really hot.
And soon after that, they came to take us over to another area where we had the actual bath.
And they sat us down at these
Wash basins.
wash basins.
Yeah, of marble again. So we sat directly beside it on the floor. He had sort of a silver bowl and started just dumping bowlfuls of water on my head and all over me. And it felt really shocking. And he was doing it to himself at the same time, probably to cool down and wash himself at the same time.
Yeah.
And then they have the exfoliation. So they have these exfoliating mitts or pads. They did arms, legs, stomach, chest, back, just everywhere, and it feels wonderful because you've sweat so much that having that feeling of the exfoliation afterwards is wonderful.
After they finished doing the exfoliating, they asked you to get up onto one of the marble benches. So we climbed up on there, and then this was one of my favorite parts.
This is where the fun really begins because you get covered in bubbles. And I've never felt or seen bubbles like this in my life. They were so silky and soft, and the best way I can describe it is that they dip it in some sort of bucket, and then it's like wringing out a magical bag full of mystery bubbles. And there are so many bubbles, and I kept peeking over at you. I don't know if you were doing the same because we couldn't film it, and I wanted to see what was happening. And all I saw was a giant pile of bubbles with a vaguely human foot like peeking out the back. I really couldn't see anything but a foot. He was completely covered in bubbles. You want your dinner? And once you're covered in these soapy bubbles, then they give you a massage. And the massage is pretty rough. It may not be the kind of massage, like gentle massage that you are used to.
It doesn't put you to sleep.
No, and they might like hit you with an open hand or chopping action or something, just so that you know. And he did ask me a couple of times, are you okay or okay? And it was fine, but...
My guy didn't ask me.
And then once you've been rinsed on your back, then they ask you to turn over and they repeat the process. So you get covered in bubbles and another massage and then rinsed off again. And I had to hold on at some points because the marble got so slippery from the soap that it was a little bit like a slip and slide where I was having to just make sure I wasn't literally gonna just fly onto the floor. I was like, I'm gonna be the first person to just fly off while he's giving me a massage. Anyway, so that added to the fun of it.
So when all of the fun with the bubbles was over, they got us to sit back by the wash basin.
Yeah, and asked if we'd like our hair washed, and I wanted to experience the whole thing, so I said yes, and I'd had my hair up, which I'd recommend if you have long hair, just so it doesn't get in the way. So I took that out, and then he used those same bubbles to wash my hair, and then again used the silver bowl to dump just buckets of water over me just everywhere. Once he was finished rinsing my hair and indicated that he was finished and we could head towards the door, I was absolutely sopping wet, dripping everywhere. My towel was sopping, my clothing, everything, and we were trying not to slip as we exited, again on those marble tiles. And once we left the hot area of the bath, there was someone waiting for us outside the door, and he told us that we should go and take off our things, so for women like the bikini top and the little shorts and your towel, to take them all off and to wrap ourselves in a fresh Turkish towel. And when we came out, he put my hair in another smaller towel and then more towels in this very specific way that I felt like a little kid after the bath when you're so snug you can barely move, but you feel really cozy. That's how I felt.
And I didn't put my towel on right, so he just stripped me down and put it on for me in a proper manner and sent me on my way.
It's a very specific way of tying up the towels and the different sizes of towels and everything. So it's really neat to see how you should actually use Turkish towels. And then he rubbed rose oil on our wrists, which was so luxurious, and I love the smell of roses.
And then they brought a menu so we could order some food or drink items off of there.
Yeah, so there's a little chamber where it's all marble again with cushions and these beautiful murals of people bathing, and we ordered apple tea, which was so good. Just sipping our apple tea and feeling so snug and warm and having just had this wonderful experience. I felt so content. Like I could have sat there forever, it felt like. I just felt really good in that moment. We've just completed our first Turkish hammam experience.
Ever.
I didn't really know what to expect, but it surpassed any expectation I could have had.
It was so relaxing, and it was so wonderful to just lie on the hot marble slab.
I'm very hot, as you can see. You spend about 40 minutes just sweating it out, and this hammam is from the 16th century, and inside is all marble with columns, and they're playing music. It's so hot, and there are these sort of marble tabletop beds that you get to lie down on. They're really hot, and we got to be in the section of the bath where the Sultan used to bathe.
His own personal section for bathing.
So that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then you get exfoliated and they dump water all over you. They washed our hair.
We got a bubble bath.
Yeah, I've never felt bubbles like that. They were so silky and smooth feeling.
And a massage.
Yeah. My face is so red. We came out a while ago and still look like a lobster. And then you come out and they wrap you in these Turkish towels. We're both wearing 3 different size towels right now. And then you sit in this very calm area and they serve you whatever you'd like to drink. So we had apple tea, which was delicious. I always think of this experience now whenever I have apple tea. Yeah. So I just loved it so much. I already want to do it again.
Go for round 2.
When we left and had to re-enter the real world again, there was a man by the exit who was holding a big bowl of candy, and he also had a bottle of rose water that we put all over our hands. And so when you exit, you just have this wonderful reminder lingering of the amazing experience you just had. I cannot recommend this bath enough. I know there are lots of options for Turkish baths, especially in Istanbul, but we really loved this one. I love the history of Suleiman the Magnificent, and just being inside that marble dome and looking up and knowing that so many people throughout time
centuries of bathers
have seen the exact view that you are, including the Sultan who was in that exact area that we were. It really just feels special. The whole experience was fantastic, and I'm glad that we were able to go together, especially the first time to experience it. So I will link all the information below to their website for the Suleymaniye Hammam if you want to check it out. It is cash only, so make sure that you have cash. You can pay with lira and euros and I believe American dollars. It's 40 euros per person. Fully worth it. And I would also recommend for women, if you're wearing makeup, remember to bring makeup remover because otherwise it's very sweaty and I don't think you'll have as good an experience if you're not barefaced when
your mascara is going everywhere.
Yeah, it's just not going to be as pleasant. So try to bring a hair elastic and also some makeup remover, and I would just use the garments that they provide you 100%.
Definitely.
Yeah.
You want to be able to breathe.
Yeah. If you have any questions at all, please let us know in the comments below. We'll do our best to answer them. And if you've been to a Turkish bath, we would love to hear how our experience compares to your experience. Let us know, does this sound familiar or not?
Did we do things right? Should we have tried something else on the menu?
Yeah, or, you know, just how it compares really. And if there are any particular baths that you'd recommend going to, we would love to hear that. So leave us a comment down below. And if you like this video, which we hope you did, then remember to give it a like and subscribe for lots more travel adventures and perhaps some more baths along the way.
I hope so.
And we'll see you in our next video. Bye.
Bye. This is our favorite little doggy in the world. Say hello.